Sabrina Carpenter, Espresso here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. We are Big Joe and Laura welcoming you to Friday.
We're here against our will Friday. No, not really, but...
Yeah, that's true. Usually that's the story of my life. It's like, where do you want me to go? All right, okay. I guess we're going there. October 18th, 2024. That wonderful voice you hear, which sounds better than mine, is Laura Hardy. Hello.
Thanks. Hello, good morning. I will say it's not so bad being here this morning because behind the scenes, they had a big sales thing this week with our salespeople that, put all those nice commercials on the radio that keep us employed. And they have left so many snacks behind that I've been eating like a little squirrel. Like, all the squirrels in my yard are like eating my pumpkins and stealing all the birdseed and stuff. I am like the little squirrel, but here in the building where I'm like stealing granola bars and stashing them in weird places in hopes that they don't notice that I took at least 5 of them at this point.
Well, that's good. I'll have to go over there because not to complain, but things are kind of scarce around here. We got a new vending machine because we didn't during the pandemic. They kind of said, "Well, nobody goes to work. Why do we don't need food and drinks?
Yeah, we don't need that here."
So they got rid of the vending machines, but they've been back and they've been amazing. Some of the best shows we've had have been powered by energy drinks that I've bought in that machine.
Oh yeah, the giant, ridiculous size Celsiuses that no one should drink.
But this morning. And maybe maybe you do have a vending machine at your work or somewhere. Like, what's the stuff that gets stuck there that nobody wants? Because that's what we're dealing with now. Today, and nothing wrong with it, but sun chips are my thing. I mean, they're good for you. I think they have vitamin C in them D because of the sun.
They're better than Doritos.
Yeah, but like all I could get was a Diet Pepsi and a bag of Cool Ranch, which is not exactly part of the program.
That's because I stole all the granola bars and I have them squirreled away in different parts of the office. If you want one, I'd be happy to share with you, but no one else.
I don't know what I want. I want my 25-cent Muddy Buddies back. Those were great beverages and snackies. Yeah,
they misnumbered the Muddy Buddies in our vending machine at one point, made them 25 cents instead of $2.50, and we're the reason they don't exist anymore. So you know what? Like, it's a hard day for snackers, and if you're thinking of us this morning, have a snack in our honor if you're able to get one easily because, Starbucks and stuff is not open when we come into work. So it's not like we could swing through for a little latte on the way in. I'm so jealous of people that could do that. I wish I got to work late enough that things were open when I got here.
The show's still going to start, but if you want to get here at 6:30 and 7 with some coffee, I'm down with that.
You know what? I'll leave. I'll be back. All right. Well, let us know what you're getting into. 616-600-0957, and we'll get our morning started.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
A new arrival is scheduled to land at Ford Airport this winter. Bell's Brewery is going to open up a new location in Concourse B.
Ooh.
The venue is going to feature classics like Oberon and Two Hearted, plus seasonal options on a smaller menu of snacks that they'll have. So I feel like I need to start flying more. Right now, there's no set date for when the Bell's location in the airport will open, but keep an eye out in the coming months if you're planning on traveling.
So we have more details that have come in about the death of Liam Payne, the former member of One Direction. The coroner in Buenos Aires says that he died from trauma and internal and external bleeding after he fell from that third-floor balcony of his hotel room. They say that he was alone when he fell and that he was probably going through some sort of outbreak due to substance abuse because, he kind of struggled with that over the years, which is just heartbreaking to hear. And given the position of his body, it appears he didn't try to break his fall when he fell, so they think he was either passed out or maybe semi-conscious, could have been blacked out, something, but he was not aware he was falling when he fell.
Yeah, probably not a typical response of somebody that was just falling out of a third floor.
Yeah, no, usually you'll try to break your fall or something like that in that case. And they also found substances that could be narcotics in the room, along with alcohol and some destroyed stuff, furniture. But everyone in One Direction all issued a statement together yesterday, and then everyone except for Zayn posted their own statements on their individual accounts, including Harry Styles, who I think put it beautifully and said, "I'm truly devastated by Liam's passing. His greatest joy was making other people happy, and it was an honor to be alongside him as he did it."
And for your final need-to-know news story, we're heading to Utah, where an 11-year-old girl named Rosalie showed up at City Hall and asked for a meeting with the Parks Department. She said, "Hey, the playground near my house, it's not really good for kids under 5. So her little sister, who happens to be under 5, couldn't use it."
Aww.
So instead of just complaining, like everybody likes to do, she actually drew up some plans and helped get a new one built.
Rosalie's first response to that was, that'll be really hard for my sisters to play on, because it was a lot of rope climbers and things like that, which for a 2 to 5 year old is a lot trickier.
It's a really cool playground. It's just really cool. It means a lot.
This is so cute. Good for her for making a difference and thinking of others, because, most people don't think about the little ones. But yeah, my little guy can barely play on most playgrounds, so this would be such a blessing.
That is Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News here on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. We are Big Joe and Laura, and we're starting to do something new here, and this is where you're part of the show. What are you getting into this weekend? What are you at least planning on doing? We'll see how it actually turns out, but we want to know what your weekend plans are. Then we want to check in with you on Monday and see how it went.
Yeah, so give us a call, 616-600-0957, and share your plans. Joe, you got anything fun happening this weekend?
As of right now, for sure, I know locked in. Yes, something fun happening with you actually on Saturday. We're going to be doing the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk down at Calder Plaza. So we get to do that. That's going to be fun. Get to see so many people and just celebrate the survivors, the family members, just everybody there. And the weather's going to be pretty good too, right?
I know. I mean, it'll be a little chilly to start the day, but nothing bad. And it's going to end up being a beautiful day to go into further the day. Yeah, I'm so excited about that. And I love working with the American Cancer Society. And hopefully maybe we could solicit a few extra people to donate to your Real Men Wear Pink campaign, because you're struggle busting through it. And I believe you can do better than this, and I think you will. But
I know it's tough for people to donate money. I mean, times are tough for everybody.
Absolutely.
But by all means, if you're interested, you can DM us in the Mix 95.7 app, and I'll give you a direct link.
I'll also throw a link up in our Instagram story, so that way you can find it easier. Give me a few minutes, and I'll get that up.
It's Big Joe and Laura.
That should be fun. I'm excited. Around that, I'm also busy as per usual, because tonight we're going to Lansing to see an artist, Josiah and the Bonnevilles, that my husband really likes and we're kind of friendly with, and he's invited us to go do some stuff. And then tomorrow night, Gavin Adcock, who is the new rowdy country music guy. Ooh, he's a handful. He's 23 and he's closing down the bars, for lack of better words. But he has invited us to come take a shot before the show. So
oh, no.
I don't know that I can hang, but we're gonna try, and it should be a good time. So after the walk, I'll be having a rowdy night, and I'm sure sleeping in a little bit Sunday before we pick up the little guy.
What are you getting into this weekend? Call us right now. We'll check in with you on Monday to see how it went. 616-600-0957. We got our good friend Porta Potty Drew. What are you getting into?
Not much. Just figure I'd give you my input of what I want to do this weekend. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I want to do it.
What is your dream weekend, Porta Potty Drew?
I think I might surprise my wife and kids and go up to that sky bridge up in Charlevoix.
I've always wanted to go there. Okay, so why is it a maybe? What's keeping you from thinking about doing it?
I don't know, just the effort of actually doing it.
Do it. Do it for me, Drew, because I don't have time to do that this year, and I want pictures of it, so I need you to go and be my eyes and ears and tell me if it's worth the trip. And then your family will also win by default.
I'm hoping so, because I know we really love the fall colors and stuff, and so I think it'll just be a pretty awesome trip.
Oh, yeah, you got to go now before it's too late.
Yeah, it's like the perfect time right now. The colors are really popping perfectly right now, so I think we're encouraging you. Do it. Enjoy your weekend. Life's too short.
All right, Porta Potty Drew, we're going to check in with you on Monday around this time, okay? We want to know how your weekend went, what you ended up doing.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right, what about you? 616-600-0957. Give Laura and I a call right now and tell us about your weekend plans. Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. I'm curious if this is an insult or maybe I'm just taking things too personally.
Oh, no.
I was walking to the bathroom yesterday after we went to a commercial break on the show, and I hear another radio station because we play our music throughout the building. And I was like, oh, that's Andy Wren over on the river, and he's doing a weather update. Let's hear it, And I'm hearing, and this is what I hear, and I'm like, wait a minute. I think this guy's talking about, me.
Bundle up today for sure. We have one guy that works with us in the studio, and I see, as I'm driving in and getting into the parking ramp, I see him running out in shorts and a T-shirt, and it's 34 degrees outside. So, it takes all kinds.
I don't know why you would think he's talking about you, Joe. You're definitely not wearing shorts and a T-shirt and flip-flops today, like you did yesterday.
Well, it's going to be really nice weather like it was yesterday, so there's nothing.
did not even break 70 yesterday, Joe.
That doesn't mean you can't wear shorts. It doesn't mean you can't dress for the situation you're going to be in a majority of the day. Like if it's snowing outside, but I'm going to be inside for 10 hours, I'd rather be comfortable for the 10 hours and deal with the little minor inconvenience of a walk in.
Did you know that you actually are allowed, in fact, to change your clothes more than once a day? Like, I know that you put on that first outfit of the day. You don't have to stick to it all day. You can actually go to, like, get home from work and be like, you know what? Now is the time in which I should unleash my weird toes and expose my legs to the world instead of during the workday.
You're a Southern woman, so you don't understand what it's like to be a Northern man. This is kind of our official winter outfit. And
no, the official winter outfit is a hoodie and shorts. You're even more unhinged.
It's not that cold yet.
Yes, it is. I literally had to cover my plants in blankets this week because there was a freeze warning on the same day in which you had your toes exposed to the elements outside.
Let's get to the main point of this. let me play this again.
Well, it takes all kinds.
That is definitely the old guy version of bless your heart or...
So, I mean, he's a good guy, but he was taking a shot at me like, what a knucklehead, right?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely calling you stupid, for sure.
Because to me, it's the same thing as like, well, we love that Big Joe guy. He's not the brightest bulb, and
he's not the sharpest crayon in the drawer.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So... Do you feel
he
like...
was definitely taking shots at you, buddy. I think maybe you should heed his advice, Joe. I mean, not to say that he is part of the older generation and he is wise, he is full of wisdom, and I think his wisdom is wear pants. What is wrong with you?
Is anybody else out there still rocking the shorts, still doing the T-shirts? Right? Like, it's not wintertime yet. It's fall. This is perfectly normal. I'd love to know. Or maybe you agree with Laura and apparently Andy Rant, my former buddy down the hall.
Well, it takes all kinds.
616-600-0957. Big Joe's Little Wins here on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix is where you call us at 616-600-0957 and share some good news in your life. It could be a big win, like maybe a health update or something as small as like, hey, you know what? The person in front of me bought my breakfast and that makes me happy. 616-600-0957. Laura, what's the little win you're sharing?
I'm not a homeowner, so I don't get new upgrades to the house that I rent very often, but recently our garbage disposal started to go on the fritz, and then we looked underneath and we're like, oh, this was installed in 2005. So it's a really great life, but I'm not surprised it's on its last legs at 19 years old.
You just need to throw like some silverware down there and put it out of its misery.
Well, it finally did die, and thankfully my landlord is really great. We texted him, we're like, hey, the garbage disposal died, and he was like, oh my gosh, came over, installed one in like 10 minutes. He's so fast and so easy and good at that stuff. And now we have a brand new garbage disposal. I know that's a stupid little win, but it was nice to be able to actually dump things down the sink last night and run it and be like, I'm not going to cause a backup of some sort because I had a single piece of food on my plate. This is a miracle.
That has to be a garbage disposal record, by the way. Almost 20 years in the biz.
Listen, it did the best it could, and I am not mad at its efforts.
616-600-0957. Or you could be like Danielle in the Mix 95.7 app who sent us a voice message for her little win.
Hey guys, I have a little win for you today. We had our daughter's first kindergarten conference last night and it went absolutely fantastic. Her teacher said she's doing great, and the one thing that melts our hearts the most is being told that our daughter is helping a little girl in her class who's been having a hard time in school, and she's being her friend, which is the best thing that we could ever ask for, that she just continues having that kind heart and being kind to others. And that was definitely a little win for us.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I love seeing people spread kindness because it's so rare these days. You know what, Danielle? You should be a proud mom in that scenario for sure.
Listen, we need more little wins like that. I wish everybody would just pick up the phone and call all the time, but sometimes you're a little shy, West Michigan. So I'm going to challenge you right now. You got a little win? Share it with us. 616-600-0957 or DM it in the Mix 95.7 app. Good morning. It is Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7. Want to remind you a lot going on. Coming up at 7:45, we are going to be playing Laura Can't Lose. We're always looking for new people, so when that comes up, make sure you have our number, 616-600-0957. Laura, What's going on?
You know, a lot of things I don't like show up in my mailbox. Bills, those stupid political flyers that I've gotten like 50,000 of in the last 2 weeks. I'm not voting for anyone now, just in spite of those. But the worst thing that I've received in the mail showed up in my mailbox yesterday, a jury duty summons.
Why is that the worst thing to show up?
No one wants to do jury duty, Joe.
I think a lot of people actually take pride in doing their civic duty.
Do they?
Like what? I would. I've never been summoned for jury duty.
You know what? Hey, if you want to put on a wig, I'll give you my driver's license, and you can be Laura Hardy, and you can show up at the Kent County Courthouse.
Is that the only difference? Hair and no hair? Come on, don't insult yourself.
I mean, listen, I feel like they don't care enough. It'd probably work out. I think they just want a physical body. And I'm going to be honest, I am not a competent person who should be doing this. I rarely make good decisions in my own life. Why should I be deciding the fate of some innocent, nice, kind person who had nothing to do with the situation?
Well, you're presumed innocent, but that doesn't mean that they are. They could be a terrible person, and you could get justice for a fellow member in our West Michigan community. You ever think of it that way?
I mean, I guess that's the case, but with my luck, I would have some sort of terrible case that's like, hey, this is very obvious, but we're still going to debate about it. And I'm just like, I'm going to redline. I'm going to start yelling at people, be like, it's obvious. It's obvious. This guy, like, I know I don't have the temperament for this right now, especially with my baby not sleeping. And like, it could last weeks at a time. Do you want me not to be on the radio for weeks? And you just have to do the whole thing by yourself? Because you know our bosses aren't going to let you have the time off.
If it's a big enough profile case, maybe national news, yeah. Like, that would be great.
But I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, but people know, like, oh my God, you hear Laura Hardy for Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7? Like, it's getting our station and our show out there.
No, they're not gonna acknowledge me at all.
I will.
You can't tell people I'm a juror.
Yes,
for the
I can.
Case. It's like, so maybe that's how I get out of it. I'd be like, listen, my co-host is a big mouth. He's gonna tell everybody I'm on this case, and I'm gonna ruin the entire integrity of this for you.
So I guess what you're asking for help to get out of jury duty, which
yes, if it's possible. I got out of it in Kentucky one time. I was in college. I went to college 3.5 hours away from my hometown, but I lived in the dorms, so I didn't change my address at the time. So I get the jury summons, and I'm like, hey, I live 3.5 hours away. I can't do it. And they let me off the hook because they're like, yeah, reasonably, you're not going to drive 3.5 hours every day one way just to do this. So I got out of it then. I live 10 minutes away right now, though, so I do not have a good excuse other than I'm a mom, I'm a radio DJ. Do you really want me? I promise I'm not the person for this job.
Come on, you could set such a great example for your little baby Justin and say, Mama, on a jury.
No, 616-600-0957. Have you ever successfully gotten out of jury duty? How do you do it? Again, 616-600-0957. Or if you want to shame me into why I should do it, maybe I'll hear you out. We're Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7.
It is Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And
I'm trying to get out of jury duty. I got a letter in the mail yesterday saying, hey, you've been summoned. And I'm going to be honest, I am not the person for this. And I'm not just saying that to get out of it. Like, I have a terrible temperament. I do not have the attention span. I work in radio, so I would like to be here for my job versus spending 3 weeks being a pain in everyone else's butt.
You're not going to be somewhere for 3 weeks. I bet it's a couple of days, Laura.
I don't know. I've heard of people going for like months at a time, especially if you got one of those high-profile cases, which that's the kind of luck I have, is I'm going to get stuck on the murder case no one can figure out. 616-600-0957. Lacey in Cedar Springs, how did you get out of jury duty?
I tell you, I had gotten one about 8 months ago. I put it on the side of the refrigerator. Totally forgot about it, didn't go, and never heard anything since.
That's my nightmare. I would have anxiety for years afterwards. And I'd be like, they're going to come for me in 6 years when they remember that I have a bench warrant and I got pulled over for an expired tag or something stupid.
Lacey, you are way too calm about this. I agree with Laura. Like, today you're going to be driving and whoop, whoop.
Listen, if this happens, Lacey, you let us know. We're friends with Chief Windstrom. We'll try to talk your way out of it for you.
My fiance kept saying, you have to go next week. And so I was moving my schedule and my clients around so I could go. And then I didn't look at it again. And a week after, he's like, did you go to that? I said, no. Am I supposed to do something? He goes, well, maybe you should call. I was like, I don't even know who to call. I guess I'll wait and see if they send me something else.
I'm not going to go your route, but it does make me feel better if I do screw this up. Apparently, they're not going to come knocking on my door the next morning. So
They're not, because I wondered the same thing. I'm like, are they going to come and get me? But years before that, I did go to it, but they ended up like putting everybody's name in a bowl.
I think you went to a different party.
I don't want to do it. I hate this so
I'm
much.
Serious. I did it in Kent County down on the Beltline, and they picked out so many, and then they would ask a few questions to determine whether they were keeping everybody or not. Like, not going to be a good choice for that particular case.
Sure.
But I didn't end up having to do it, and then the rest of the week I was off because they had enough people.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can get some days off work. Joe's going to hate that. Well, thank you, Lacey. Appreciate it. Have a great morning. Hey, Jeannie in Kalamazoo, have you ever done jury duty or have you gotten out of it before?
I did 4 times jury duty.
Oh,
I've been
no.
called 4 times.
You must be really good at judging stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. You got a great opinion.
I don't know. One was a murder. One was a 14-year-old girl that was raped by her uncle, but wasn't really her uncle.
Oh.
And then the other 2 were just foo-foo cases.
What do I need to do? Like, you clearly didn't get out of it, and all those cases sound terrible, which is exactly what I don't want to deal with. So, like, what can I do to prepare for this at least?
You can't. Bring a book because you may be dismissed. I was never dismissed. I had to go through it. But bring a book to read because it's going to be a long day. And you get your $7 an hour.
That's more than you make here.
That is more than I make here.
It's $7 an hour, and it's really not fun. But I did it because I didn't think I could get out of it, and I just did it.
Come on, what
Jeannie,
is with
Jeannie,
everybody
you're like
here?
me.
It is our civic duty to serve and be on juries. You should be excited about this.
No.
I wish I could get jury
Did you
duty.
hear the cases? Jeannie had to go to a murder and a child rape. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dreaming of that being my cases on the docket, but so be it. Like, I'm there to serve.
And they're not going to give me, like, ran past a stop sign as my case. If that was the case, I'd be like, oh, throw the book at him.
I doubt you're going to get out of it unless the person pleads guilty. Like in the murder case, I only had to sit there for 3 weeks, and then he changed his plea to guilty. So that wasn't really too bad.
Wait, only 3 weeks? I can't take 3 weeks off this job. They'll fire me. Joe, you're not getting a vacation out of this.
Haley and Grand Ledge, can you tell Laura what happened to your mom when she tried to get out of jury duty and like what she was trying to do?
So my mom tried to get out of jury duty by breaking dress code. She showed up wearing like the skimpiest shirt she could find. And they said that wasn't a reason. She said someone else tried to do the same thing. She tried to claim mental insanity. That also did not work. So she was stuck having to do her jury duty, and she ended up having an okay time. She did have to report.
So not only did she like try her best, but then she has to like hang out with these people as she's tried her best afterwards. Like, yeah, I'm insane and here are my boobs, but oh no, now I have to spend the next week with you.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. You'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Let's say good morning to Matt in Grand Rapids trying to get his hands on $70 worth of that Michigan lottery jackpot.
Good morning, Matt. How are you, buddy?
Good. Ready to win some big money.
There you
Hopefully.
go.
I like the energy. All right, let's see how we do.
Go ahead and kick Laura out of the studio, Matt, so we can play.
Laura, can we please have some privacy?
Oh wow.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, Matt and I have to have a talk. Just go ahead and leave the room, honey.
I don't want to encroach.
Yeah, please don't. All right, she has left the room, so your 5 question begins now. Question 1. What is the name of the Volkswagen in Disney's The Love Bug?
Herbie.
Question 2. Which 1993 Disney movie starred Bette Midler as a witch?
Hocus Pocus.
Question 3. What relation to you is your uncle's father?
Grandfather.
Question 4. Who was Coldplay frontman Chris Martin married to for 13 years?
Gwen Stefani.
Question 5. In the cartoon Hey Arnold, what shape was Arnold's head described as?
Football.
I'm going to bring Laura back in.
Laura! La, 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 Laura!
Here she comes. You're holding your, I guess, green tea. I thought you were on the phone talking to somebody.
No, I was talking to Steve from Free Beer and Hot Wings in the hallway because I was like, hey, are you playing trivia right now, too? That's fun. It's a weird to work in radio.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, Laura, here's the deal. Matt in Grand Rapids is going to make it pretty tough for you today. He got 4 out of 5, so there's an opportunity to win, but you better not slip up too bad.
Okay, let's see how we do.
Question number 1. What is the name of the Volkswagen in Disney's The Love Bug?
Herbie.
Correct. 1-1.
I did watch those movies as a kid. They were one of the only ones at the video store.
As a kid? Heck, still as an adult. Question number 2. What 1993 Disney movie starred Bette Midler as a witch?
Hocus Pocus.
Correct. We watched that already in our house for Halloween.
Of course. It's the time of year.
2-2. Going into question 3. What relation to you is your uncle's father?
My uncle's father? That'd be my grandfather.
Correct. 3-3.
I was like, wait, he tripped me up a little.
Question number 4. Who was Coldplay frontman Chris Martin married to for 13 years?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That is correct. That's where Matt slipped up. He said Gwen Stefani.
Oh, you know what? They look really similar, and I do get them confused also, Matt, so there's no shame in that.
Okay, well, Laura's got a 4-3 lead. Let's see what happens on this final question.
I was like, I've been known to blow it here before.
Yes, she has. In the cartoon Hey Arnold, what shape was Arnold's head described as?
Football head.
That's right, a football head. Laura went 5 for 5 today, Matt, which means, well, she can't lose.
I'm sorry.
It's a fact.
All right, Matt, since you did lose, you know what you got to do, right?
This is Matt in Grand Rapids, and Laura can't lose.
That's right. And hey, if you're brave like Matt, give us a call. 616-600-0957. Our Michigan Lottery ticket jackpot now up to $75.
Mix 85.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. We are Big Joe and Laura. And listen, I know everybody thinks we're made of money, but we're not. No, Laura, you're bringing up a good question this morning about you and your husband, James, trying to have a date night.
Yeah, basically, we've got our little guy, Justin, who's about to turn a year old. He's finally old enough to where we can kind of get out of the house a little bit more. And his birthday and Christmas are right on top of each other, so money's a little tight right now. And we just want to know, like, what's a good idea for a cheap date night? Like, I know, yeah, we could sit on the couch and watch something on Netflix, but we do that, like, every night. So
you want something new?
Yeah, I would like to, like, get out of the house or do something different in our house that we don't normally do. So if you've got great ideas, 616-600-0957, I'll offer you mine to start, and maybe you'll give me your great idea in exchange so I can help you out here. My great idea: this isn't technically free, but if you maintain this, it becomes a cheap date night if you do it enough.
Okay.
I have one of those Celebration Cinema movie passes where you get, like, it's like $20 a month, all the movies you can watch pretty much. It's like you get up to like 3 a week. It's more than you can possibly go see. Yeah. So we have one of those, and then we buy the refillable bucket every quarter. So once we have that going, it's a free date night. I mean, I know, yeah, it's girl math a little bit there.
I was going to say girl math. Girl math.
I get that it's girl math, but at the time, I've already paid the $20. I bought the bucket 2 months ago. I could just go to the movies, sit down. All I'm paying for is maybe a drink or some candy or, you know, sneaking it in your coat. But, you know, either way, that's my cheap date night. But I'm looking for more creative ideas. Do you got anything? What do you and Lindsay do when you don't want to spend a bunch of money?
This is something that I want to do, and I'm just going to say it right now. I'm stealing it from our coworker, Wendy.
Okay.
She, I believe, with her and her partner, Chris, every Friday for the most part, I believe they hang out, do their thing at home, but they make their own pizzas.
Oh, that's fun. So, like, you get the dough and everything. Because I know they make that, like, pre-made dough at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably pre-made. I don't think they're actually making the dough, but if not, that's pretty impressive. But
absolutely,
it's their own individual pizza. They get to make it. They get to like it, and it's saving money, you would think, compared to ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, it's just quality time together. That's something like me and my marriage. My wife and I, Lindsay, have been talking about it more. It's always go, 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 go.
Yeah.
I need to find something like that, and honestly, pizza sounds good. So that's my suggestion that I stole from our coworker, Wendy.
You know what? I think Wendy and you have a great suggestion there. So what's your best favorite cheap date night? 616-600-0957, or you can send us a DM right now inside your Mix 95.7 app.
Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. We're asking for some help, and you can actually maybe help some other people out in West Michigan.
Yeah, we want to know, what is your favorite cheap date night? 616-600-0957, or you can send us a DM inside the Mix 95.7 app. kind of like Amy, who lives over in Grand Haven, and she said dinner and a movie or a motorcycle ride in the middle of nowhere. We pulled into a park, we had a couple of sandwiches, watched a movie on our phone while sitting in the grass, kind of old school romantic with a hint of new age technology. I like the idea of going and having like an impromptu picnic because you can just change your scenery and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. The motorcycle ride might be a little extreme for me, but you know what? If that's your thing, that's great. We also got a DM in the Mix 95.7 app from Becky over in Lowell, who said driveway bonfire with the neighbors, board games, and snacks. Which
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, does it not sound like a great night? I mean, listen, you could have a date night with your friends, your neighbors. My parents always had the next door neighbors had a garage door open like King of the Hill. They would all sit there and watch TV and stuff. And I hope one day when I own a home, I can have that kind of space for my neighbors too. So again, 616-600-0957, or you can send us a DM inside the Mix 95.7 app. Kate in Grand Rapids, what is your favorite cheap date night? Like for people on a budget, they want to do something nice. What do you suggest?
Use stuff that's already in your house. So if you're going to make dinner for your partner, don't go out and buy something new. Challenge yourself to use stuff that's in the pantry.
This is kind of like one of those cook-off shows where it's like, this is all you have. Make a meal.
Exactly.
Here's your
cheap
key ingredient.
chopped.
Have you ever had that, Kate, where you've actually had a pretty decent meal out of something? You're like, well, this is all we got.
Honestly, yes. I once made spaghetti noodles with egg and green onion and a can of tomatoes. It was really nice. It was really high fiber and high protein. I felt good afterwards, and I didn't pay anything for that.
You know what? That's actually really smart because I always have so many weird odds and ends in my pantry, and it stresses me out that I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this can of XYZ. So instead, I should just. Right. But my problem is I'm a really bad cook, so I feel like I'm just going to make us sick with these extra.
Yeah, this is actually something, Kate, I don't think you realize that while Laura's husband can make amazing meals, Laura tries to kill him constantly.
I think I should just make him play Chopped by himself, and then I get to be the audience and judge, and then that's.
I mean, not to sound like a communist, but to each according to their needs based on what skills everybody has.
You know what? I do make a good dessert, so maybe that's where I can come in clutch because there's no raw meats I can mess up.
There you go.
Well, Kate, thank you so much for calling in and being part of the show this morning.
We appreciate you, Kate.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, guys. I hope we all have cheap date nights.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.